Hold up. Okay, so I know that this type of video is one that, as I said in the PK Subban Montreal Canadiens video, it's very dangerous to make because I'm recording this audio on, what is it, Monday, July 25th, 7:59:10, or excuse me, it's now 11, it's now 12, it's now 13 p.m. PST here. It's not happened yet. There is no contract that has been handed out to this player as of right now, but that could change as quickly as tomorrow. If there is a contract handed out to this player between the time I'm recording this audio and the time this video goes up on YouTube, then I look like the fool. But I'm gonna go out there, play my cards, see if we can actually squeak a video in there talking about this idea before the player inevitably signs. Today we're talking about Dallas Stars defenseman, or excuse me, former Dallas Stars defenseman. I guess he's still technically under that label since he hasn't signed anywhere else yet. We're talking about John Klingberg today, because Klingberg is a free agent right now. And if you're talking about him and the Vancouver Canucks, there are some very interesting conversations that open up as to where this team has been and what the team might actually do going forward. So, introductions aside, John Klingberg is a 29-year-old right-handed defenseman, 6'1", 176, from Göteborg, Sweden. Since he's 29, he was drafted back in 2010, and ever since making his debut with the Dallas Stars in 2014-15, he has been an absolute stud for that blue line. His debut took place 7 years ago, meaning that he was 22 years old when he put up his first season of 65 games played and 40 points. It wasn't until 2017-18 when everybody kind of realized, hey, this guy is legit really, really good, when he had 67 points in 82 games, and he was on a contract where he was only making $4.25 million a season. He was 25 years old in the smack dab middle of his prime, making less than $4.5 million, putting up 67 points a year. That was fantastic. As the years went on, though, you started to see a few more changes in Dallas. No longer was this team being led by the Sagans and the Bens and the Radulovs. You had the Robertsons and the Pavelskis and the Hintzes coming out of the shadows, taking things over. No longer was John Klingberg the number one got-to-see-him type of talent on that blue line because you had Miro Heiskanen coming in, who was drafted in 2017, so he's a lot younger than Klingberg. And eventually you saw Klingberg sort of fade out of that number one-ish sort of spotlight that he had established for himself. Sure, he was still producing points. He had 32 points in 58 games in 2019-20, 21 points in 26 games in the playoffs, by the way. Fantastic numbers right there. And he had 36 points in 53 games played last season. This year, he had 47 points in 74 games. He was a minus 28. And there was a whole bunch of speculation this entire season saying, hey, Klingberg wants to sign for 8 years. He wants to stick around long term. He does not want any insecurity with his contract. And the Dallas Stars are unfortunately in a position where it does not appear that they want to sign him to an 8-year extension, so there were a whole bunch of rumors about a potential Klingberg trade. Oh, he's going to get sent over to a team that is willing to give him 8 years, and then there wasn't a trade, and then free agency opened up, and we had even more rumors saying, hey, maybe the Stars are actually just going to re-sign Klingberg and suck it up anyway. Now, we are still at a point where Klingberg has not signed yet, so all that stuff is unconfirmed, but we do have a little bit of an idea as to what other teams might have gone out there and tried to push their luck when it comes to acquiring the former 67-point defenseman. Irfan Gafar on Sportsnet 650 Canucks Central said he strongly believes the Vancouver Canucks were trying to open up cap space with the Tyler Myers trade at the draft to make a play for John Klingberg. The Canucks were one of the teams that was very, very interested in trying to figure out a way to make that happen, but obviously it didn't work. And this quote, this one quote, is good enough to get Canucks Army writing articles about it. You've got Canucks fans on Reddit and Twitter and Instagram all talking about the idea of Klingberg, because of course, Vancouver media, Vancouver market, it's crazy over here in Vancouver. But I just wanted to give my 2 cents as to the entire Tyler Myers trade scenario and John Klingberg himself, whether or not he is a player that I feel would be a good addition to the Vancouver Canucks. And when it comes to the Myers thing, first and foremost, we had seen some rumors popping up here and there about the idea that Myers might actually be tradable, which, as I said in the video a few days ago, I don't believe that. That is wild to me. The guy's $6 million of a defenseman per year, and he does not play like a $6 million defenseman. He's just big. and he's got a long reach. That's why he was even given that money in the first place by Jim Benning. But if there is a Vancouver Canucks Myers trade to be made, I believe they probably would have done it already. They probably would have found a way to get that contract out by the draft, especially if Graffar's kind of assessment here is correct, that they were doing this with the hope of freeing up some cap space for Klingberg. Now, I'm going to go out there and say this, though. Even though Myers is not the best, even though Myers kind of sucks sometimes, I don't know if trading away Myers and getting Klingberg would necessarily improve the team long-term. And I'm saying long-term. In the short term, Klingberg is a lot better of a defenseman than Tyler Myers is. He's going to produce points. He's going to be a power play quarterback. He's going to be a right-handed guy that can do some very good things that none of the other Canucks right-handed defensemen can do. Tucker Poolman, Tyler Myers, Luke Schenn, sorry, but you guys can't produce like Klingberg can. He is better than them. But if you're going to go out there and sign John Klingberg, you're probably going to have to shell out a whole bunch of money. He wants 8 years, and he's 29 years old. What are the Canucks going to do? Sign a guy who's 29 years old to a 7-year deal and get him on your payroll till he's 36, and he's going to be, what, declining at $7.5 million a season? Like, I don't know if this is really the move the Canucks need to explore when you're taking a look at the long-term health implications this has for the team's salary cap structure. They already have Oliver Ekman-Larsson, who is sort of a similar player to Klingberg anyway, just on the opposite side. And he's signed for a long time too, and he's got a bad contract too. So I don't know if this is really the move. Like, Tyler Myers expires soon. Like, he's expiring in 2024. So that's only an extra year of $6 million the Canucks are going to have to keep on their payroll. And then you're scot-free. Then you can go out there and do whatever the heck it is you want with that $6 million. But for John Klingberg, even though he is a player that would improve Vancouver's blue line from an offensive perspective, I don't really know where the fit is financially, and I guess you could even debate stylistically. I'd seen a few people go out there and say, hey, the team already has Hughes, Rathbone, and OEL. Why do you need another offensively minded quarterbacking type of power play guy? You don't need this player. You've already got offense. If you can get a guy that can actually play good defensive hockey and stabilize that back end, because, I mean, it's apparent that all the right side guys are the guys that do that anyway. Schenn, Hamonic, Poolman, and of course Tyler Myers. That's been the style that Jim Benning went out there and tried to achieve for this right side. Now you have Travis Dermott in the mix as well, so that's going to throw another entire element to that blue line. It's just strange to me. I don't really know if this is the right move for Vancouver, but I mean, obviously, nothing is really in my control. I'm just a fan going out there giving my opinion. If you think that John Klingberg is going to save the Vancouver Canucks, then hey, let me know in the comments why that's the case. I would be very interested in seeing all of the arguments for or against John Klingberg. I don't doubt that he would make the team a little bit more productive and they would score a few more goals. He would probably get a lot of points. He'd probably get a lot more points than Tyler Myers, but still, money talks, and money is a pretty important part to everything over here. So talk to me in the comments your thoughts about Klingberg and the Canucks and whether or not it's a thing you would want to do, and the money. Ay. Again, though, if Klingberg actually signs a contract with any team before this video is uploaded and after I recorded the audio, then hey, that's my bad. I'm really not lucky when it comes to making these YouTube videos, eh? Tyler Myers trade, though, I'd be good with that. Let's see what the Vancouver Canucks can do when it comes to addressing the speed and the size of their right side defense. I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.